How many times has your main pawn watched you beat the game? How many times have they selflessly thrown themselves into the line of fire just for you to get all the credit when the dragon is felled and the world is saved once again? The pawns never complain. They just take the abuse day in and day out. But I know deep down they're hurting and they long for the day where the roles are reversed.
I cannot take much more.
Well, today is that day, people. For this playthrough, I will lift up my main pawn and give him the opportunity of a lifetime. Here are the rules. After the first Cyclops encounter, I can't do any damage to any enemy unless the game gives me no other option. I can cast supporting spells like Anodyne and Grapnel, but nothing that would deal any instance of damage. Also, after creating my main pawn, they're the only one I can use for the entire run. Just me and them until the very end. Ultimately, the main objective is to build a monster of a pawn and see if it can 1v1 the dragon at the end. Now, the AI in this game doesn't have a reputation for being the smartest. I mean, the game is 11 years old at this point, so it'll be interesting to see if my main pawn can beat Dragon's Dogma for me. But first, a word from our sponsors. This video is sponsored by Dungeon Hunter 6. Dungeon Hunter 6 is a free-to-play mobile ARPG with a unique hero collector feature in a stunning fantasy style. The gameplay features a fast-paced hack-and-slash combat style. It's absolutely free to play. Download it now using the link in the description or scan the QR code on screen if you're watching on PC. Get a special starter pack worth $50 using our link to obtain 10 summoning scrolls, an SSR Lieutenant Demonic Wolf, and 1 accessory pack. In Dungeon Hunter 6, killing the boss is not the end. For every boss you kill, the game has a unique mechanic that not only lets you loot, fly, and ride them, but also summon up to 3 of them onto the battlefield to fight by your side and perform combo skills. You can also use your game account to enter the Launch Lucky Spin event for free to win great prizes like an iPhone 15 Pro Max, a PS5, Apple Watch, and more starting October 15th. Check out the description for details. Download the game now for free on both Android and iOS. The link is in the description, or you can use the QR code on screen. And thank you to Dungeon Hunter 6 for sponsoring this video. We're role-playing as a supporting character, so I wanted to make one that was weak-chinned and sort of pathetic looking to really accentuate how much I am not the main character. Since we can only buff and support our main pawn, I'll be playing as a mage. Some of the later spells, like Grapnel, were literally made to let other characters shine. Plus, I don't think I've ever actually played or beat the game as a mage, so it'll be fun to try something new. I hope.
We need to get to our first pawn as soon as possible. Our pawn's gonna be just an absolute fucking unit.
Headed straight for the inn, we grab our DLC supplies and cash that shit in.
Money on my hat, that mean money on my mind. Money on my gray bandana, that mean the money on my mind.
With some of our money, we grab new weapons and armor for both myself and my main pawn. Once at the encampment, I went ahead and grabbed Fire Boon since almost every single early game enemy is weak to it. I was hoping the guards would be able to do this fight for me, but between the large number of goblins and the Cyclops already being enraged, they die incredibly fast. We actually get a really great example of how terrible the AI in this game is. These 2 guards have only 1 enemy left to fight. One of them isn't even attacking, and the other just seems to wander around aimlessly. Having an NPC moment myself, I fall off the ledge trying to do a jumping attack. Our second try is much less stressful, and we manage to kill him in just a few attacks. It is time to create the ultimate main character.
Look at this fucking guy.
This is the man that will watch our horribly curved back and fight their way to victory so we don't have to. From here on out, we'll just call him Drew. The Hydra fight was much more difficult than I anticipated. Drew should be doing plenty of damage with the fire buff applied, but he managed to get the Hydra to half health with none of its heads coming off. I started to think that maybe the head won't actually come off unless I attack it. Sort of like how a pawn can't fully kill a dragon. The Arisen must be the one to do the killing blow, or it'll stay alive forever. As soon as I did just 1 measly attack, it triggered the animation, so this theory may be correct. We take Drew to a local bandit camp to test his damage. After he manages to kill a few, I hit my 2nd vocation rank, and I'm actually pretty impressed with the damage he's dishing out. He always seems to take a break to wander around in between attacks, but I think this is to prevent pawns from killing things too quickly. Since we're playing mage, we control the heals for a change. By just dumping Anodyne in front of the Ox over and over, this mission proves to be a fucking cakewalk.
There you go. What is this man up to? What are you doing, bro? Oh, fuck, he killed it. That was actually impressive as shit. Good job, Drew. You're killing it, buddy. He's doing good. Look at that damage. Oh.
Before we know it, we're in Grand Sorin. Fighter is wonderful, great even, but we want a class that will excel at both close and long-range combat. Sorcerer would be cool, but I don't want to wait for Drew to charge a spell for 10 straight minutes just to change his mind at the last second. In my humble opinion, Ranger is the most versatile class and can push some crazy damage with some of its later skills, so that's what we're going with. We grab a ton of mushrooms and healables before switching into something a little more comfortable. Now we could probably just play the game normally with our pawn doing a normal amount of damage, but breaking the game is so much more fun, and main characters do not do a normal amount of damage. So, you know what that means. We're headed to Bitterblack Isle. The gear locked behind these moon doors is intended for you to obtain much later in the game, but we don't have the patience for that, so we're just gonna squeeze in here real quick. There are 3 items here that'll really help us move things along. The first is this ring that helps us level our vocation 50% faster. Secondly is this trophy jacket, which is considered the second best ranger chest piece in the entire game. And lastly, the Dragon's Glaze, which is kind of a vile name for this thing if you think about it. Like, does it do ice damage because a dragon glazed it? Now, Capcom knew people would get some of these OP weapons early, so they put a level cap on them of 46. Any character under level 46 would use so much stamina while attacking, it wouldn't even be worth the increased damage. But what if we could give our pawn unlimited stamina, or at least the closest thing to it? You see, pawns who have curatives in their inventory will use them automatically when their health or stamina gets low. So if we give our pawn an insane amount of mushrooms, voila! Sorta infinite stamina. He can now use this weapon at his leisure. Let's see how much damage he's doing.
Oh my god, look at that. He one-shot it.
Wrapping up the Pawn Guild missions, it's time to get Drew and myself some new skills. I pick up Silence, while Drew gets the much anticipated Sixfold and Deathly Arrow.
I want to give him daggers to use as well, but at the same time, it's like if I give him daggers, he's gonna use them over that badass bow. I can't help but think that the bow is truly the best option for him. I have no idea.
It's finally time to start the Worm Hunt missions. We begin with a personal favorite, rout a monster infestation. On the way to the Shadow Fort, we take our time farming the bandits. I ended up using Silence a few times, but Drew's killing most things in just a few shots. At this point, I'm really just a glorified healer / cameraman. Arriving at our first checkpoint, we've got lots of discipline to spend. I grab High Blearing, Fire Affinity, and High Silence. Looking back, this would have been a great time to pick up Grapnel, but I hadn't yet realized how useful that spell truly was. For Drew, we pick up Longevity, which does stack with Vigilance, and we also end up taking off Deathly Arrow. After doing tons of testing, Sixfold Arrow seems to one-shot more often. So by making Sixfold his only skill, he'll either use a core skill or Sixfold Arrow when attacking. I honestly couldn't help my curiosity. I really wanted to see if we could kill the dragon in front of the fort, but we were humbled pretty quickly.
No! No, 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 no!
The 2 Cyclops inside took literally 30 minutes to kill. Between non-stop ballista shots and both Cyclops constantly swinging, Drew could not find an opening to attack. To be honest, I was starting to get a bit irritated.
Will you shoot one of them, please? I'm begging you to just do something. Dude, why are you shooting? It's like you had a clear view for its eye.
But after a while, we learned that by drawing the Cyclops to the front gate, they would eventually de-aggro, creating an opening. It seemed like Drew was actually learning how to fight the Cyclops as well. At first, he would only shoot legs to make them fall and arms to make them drop their weapon. But by the end, he was nailing headshots and absolutely shredding their health.
He said, oh, finally! Jesus Christ, he finally struck at the eye and it fucking insta-killed it. Oh, he actually tripped him. Oh, he's melting him. He's getting him finally. Oh, one more, one more. Come on. Yes. Good job, Drew.
When it came time to fight the Goblin King at the end, this man just opened the door and whooped his ass without even waiting for me. Before we turn in our mission, I get high anodyne, allowing me to heal even faster, and Drew gets tenfold arrow, a massive upgrade to his damage. The only thing left before our audience with the Duke was to knock out the Decipher a Text mission.
Yay. We did it. Man, there's so... Looking back and watching the original Berserk and then playing this, you're like, of course, yes, all of this is so very much like the original game. It's fucking crazy. That bitch stole my outfit.
Because we've already obtained most of the weapons and armor needed to beat the game, the remaining missions get completed fairly quickly. First up is Fornival's Trial. Call me Saul Goodman, because there is no ethical boundary I'm not willing to cross to keep this man out of prison.
Guilty of all charges.
Moving on to the Griffin Hunt, I gave Drew daggers at some point just to test how he'd do, and it was about what I expected. The less combat options you give him, the better. Before going into Blue Moon Tower, we put down a port crystal and head back to the inn to obtain some more skills. I'm at my second to last vocation rank by now, and I finally decided to pick up Grapnel. This spell slows a target substantially, giving Drew all the time he would need to either hit a weak point or do massive damage. While making our way to the Griffin, the unthinkable happens. Drew gets knocked off the ledge. Thankfully, there's a rift stone right outside.
Hamburger.
The Griffin fight ended almost as soon as it started. His high damage output, mixed with me constantly applying Grapnel, made this mission trivial to say the least.
There you go. Good job, dude.
After turning in the mission, watching Mercedes get pounded, and accidentally buying 17 Vogue daggers,
Whoa! That explains a lot. I do not remember selling or buying that many. Fuck me, dude.
we're headed straight back to Blue Moon Tower to take on Salamet. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to use Grapnel on him, but Drew didn't mind too much.
Oh, Drew, you are doing so good, buddy. You are absolutely destroying everything.
I had never done this before, but apparently you can make a copy of Salamet's ring and keep it for yourself while using the fake to turn in for your mission. However, it does prevent you from getting access to the treasure in this chest.
The ring ought hold sway over the lock that binds this chest.
Once the Cockatrice comes to town, it's like Drew just forgot how to fight all of a sudden.
Why did you even jump on him? Stop. Stop right now, young man. Bro, get off of that thing.
He wouldn't attack the thing with his bow at all. He kept mounting it over and over. After wasting all of my curatives trying to prevent him from turning to stone, the thing just flies off. Maybe I got unlucky, or maybe the game just forces your pawns to drink a dumb shit asshole potion before the fight. Either way, we're officially done with everything except the Great Wall encampment and the final boss. If we really wanted to min-max this build, we'd take Drew to Bitter Black Isle as a warrior and just ledge the high-level enemies so he gets tons of levels and strength. We aren't gonna do that. We're under-leveled, but he's doing plenty of damage to beat everything we have left. Once inside, Drew makes quick work of the Harpies while I get the Ogres to take their masks off. I think it's at this point that I realize either the fire damage or me blinding the Cyclops is causing them to rage, so we just stick with Grapnel till they're dead. The Chimera was simple enough. Once it's silenced, it can't heal, and Drew finishes it off quickly.
There you go. Finish it off. Come on. Yes! Goat's dead. Finally. Fuck.
The altercation with the two whites put a serious spotlight on his biggest weakness, and that's being outnumbered. Drew requires a bit of space before he'll draw his bow back and fire, but with so many undead attacking him at once, he has to keep trying to get distance over and over. At some point, he even gets cornered to the point where he can't move. We just wait until he dies, and when the undead disperse, we revive him. After the foot soldiers are dead, he's only got one target left and makes quick work of the whites. After stocking up on supplies, we run into the Gore Chimera during the final mission. This thing may have been just as difficult as the final boss, because once again, Drew keeps jumping on it in an attempt to attack a weak point. Mixed with the fact that I can get almost one shot during this fight, I was starting to lose my sanity.
Oh my god, he's so silly the way he murders me in one shot. I love it. I need to take a break before I smash my fucking face into this keyboard.
Just this fight alone took over 1 hour, with us dying 3 times and having to reset. What's even more cruel is I'm pretty sure you can skip this fight by just having the monster activate all 4 pressure plates. Regardless, Drew was finally able to finish him off. But if we struggled this hard with the Gore Chimera, what was in store for us with the dragon?
Oh, finally! Holy shit.
The beginning of the fight was very textbook, but we were actually forced to shoot Grigori with a ballista at one point, only because it would have been impossible to proceed if we hadn't. The ensuing fight was one of the most frustrating encounters I've ever had in a video game. With how big he is, you wouldn't think he'd move around much, but every other attack has him jumping to the other side of the battlefield. There are also multiple stages of the fight where we can't even attack him without using a ballista. Sometimes he does a bombing run on us, sometimes he just sits on a tower and throws fireballs for 10 minutes. And to top it all off, Drew was doing his regular "I'll mount it and strike from above" nonsense.
I'm scaling and strike from above.
Dude, stop trying to scale it. There we go.
Take the offensive.
I later learned that using the come command,
What did he say?
I can keep Drew in front of his head. Then by using the go command, he'll pull out his bow and start shooting. It was a lot of this back and forth for what seemed like an eternity, but finally, we got lucky.
That's better. Come on. Yes. Ooh. Okay. This is big. This is big for us.
The hurt you visit upon me is the self-same pain I once inflicted.
Yes. Oh, this is it. This is it. Hold on. Yes. Oh my god. Oh, fucking finally. Right there at the end. Chewed through like 2 fucking health bars. Oh my god, that feels so good. Oh, that feels so good, dude. Me and him only. All the way through to the end.
And as countless pawns have come to pass, one of them stands above them all as an honorary Arisen. Technically, no, your main pawn cannot beat the entire game for you, but they can beat about 99% of it. Regardless, this challenge was super fun, and above all else, I'm happy to be making another Dragon's Dogma video that I could get really excited about. A quick shout out to our members. They support the channel each and every month and in turn get access to some really cool benefits like early access to our videos and additional uploads. If you're interested in becoming a member, check the description for more details. We'll see you next time. Later.